checking out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark.
Hey, good morning. How are you? It's the Finally Friday edition of the program. We know this for two reasons. One, because it's Friday, and there's a graphic on the screen that says, finally, it's Friday. How's everybody doing? Hit me up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room, or in. You could do it on too, but in. So you text me on the professional door. text line. Boy, I'm in good form for my emceeing duties today. Graduation weekend at Radford is upon us. We have our athletics graduation ceremony this morning at 11. Of course, I'll be the master of ceremonies. Good to still look at Radford as a place where the greater education of young people who come through our athletics program is still paramount. Something that isn't happening at enough places across this great land of ours. Vic, good morning. T-Bird, how are you? Great to interact with you yesterday. Thank you so much for everything, by the way. Prometheus, what is going on? My fire-bringing brother. It's a great name, Prometheus. Yeah, it's Friday. It's the weekend. No games this weekend because it is graduation weekend. So yeah, I've actually got a weekend of no games. Yeah, the amazing acceptance of Mike Vrabel continues. Yeah, Drake May's interview was kind of like players are just. I guess I was completely wrong. Again, I never have a problem admitting when I'm wrong about something. It's not like I'm sitting around. I have to be right. If someone disagrees with Rick, then they're wrong and Rick's right. No, I've never given a damn about that. But I was wrong about this because it's pretty apparent that nobody in New England seems to care at all about their head coach and what he's done, the lies, the deception. You got a standing ovation at the season ticket holders event, and then his players yesterday in unison coming out and saying it's not that big a deal. We support him, talking about him like, he just had a death in the family or something of that nature. I mean, that's kind of how they did it. But in any event, unbelievable. How long? I don't know overall, T-Bird. Overall, I'd have to look. I don't know how large the class is on campus. We will have, looking at the list, we have about 125 athletes. So at the event today, it's called the courting ceremony. They'll get their stoles when they go on stage tomorrow. So we'll have families for all of the individuals. We'll have all the coaches, assistant coaches. There'll be about 500 people there today, 600 people this morning. But I would guess for athletes around 125, something like that, which is pretty impressive. World's tallest. But yeah, I saw that kid left Florida. He signed with UC Irvine. If you're 7'9" and you're signing with Irvine, you must not have extraordinary skills. Your skills must be lacking just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to see. All right. Anyway. So we have all that going on. We got Will Stewart today. He's in his new house here close to where I live. I pass his the drive up into his house every day going to Radford. I didn't want to wear my in front of people clothes speaking during the show, so I didn't do that. So, yeah, Will's going to have his new setup. He'll join us. We'll get his thoughts on the athletic director situation and everything happening over in Blacksburg. Mike Ashley is open mic. I have a feeling he might be talking about the NCAA tournament, just a hunch. And then I think this is the weekend Jennifer is with Holly. I'm not sure. Next weekend is Vegas weekend. Oh, yeah. So a lot going on today. all weekend at Radford. I advise you not to be around the Radford area this evening because they have the evening session for all the grad courses and so forth inside Dedmon. And then tomorrow is graduation. And if you've not been to Radford on a graduation morning, congratulations. It is amazing how crowded it is. Yeah, in a lot of ways it will be. This is different about today's ceremony. We usually have teams that are traveling. So our coaches went to the Big South last year, administration, and was like, look, can we start looking at the conference schedules and scheduling them around our graduations? That would be great, because you had a lot of seniors who would miss today's ceremony. Then they would miss the main walk. Sometimes they'd want to stay behind. It was just bizarre. So they actually got it right this year, and we have no conference game scheduled. The Big South tournament in softball starts next week. Baseball's off. They travel to Charlottesville on Sunday. So all that worked out, which is really, really good. Really, really good. No, not going to be playing pickleball or curling this weekend. And I think, again, my interest would probably go up 90% if you just called it something else. Anything but pickleball. We looked up the reasoning for the name. None of it makes sense. Make it make sense. Panera Ball. Yeah, Panera Ball, the rules of Panera Ball is whoever has at least 5 working teeth after eating lunch there wins. That, and who else can drink the most quickly chilled soup? Yeah, it was something. Yeah, something about a boat. Yeah. Should I do it? Should I read it again? Should I read it again? Here we go. Pickleball was named by Joan Pritchard. Well, there you go. The wife of co-founder Joel Pritchard, referencing the pickle boat in Crew, which is a rowing boat made up of leftover, mismatched, or substitute rowers. Because pickleball was created using a mixture of equipment from other sports, badminton, ping pong, and tennis, she derived that it seemed like a leftover combination, and therefore she named it after the pickle boat. There's also a rumor, and this is probably why she did it. They had a dog who just happened to be named Pickles. They're saying the dog was acquired 3 years after the game was named, however. But the most widely accepted theory is the pickle boat. Enjoy. From Gen Zers' favorite pastime of gaming to baby boomers' favorite pastime of traveling, what is yours in this downtime when nothing's happening? BDST is alive and online. Good morning, Morris. No, it's not at all Prometheus. And I just can't imagine that just came to her. Oh, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of those pickle bows. Well, let me give you the history of the pickle bow. I remember I first heard about it, I don't know, after I was divorced and started dating again. I went out with a girl from, where was she from? Rocky Mount or something. I don't know. And she was into pickleball. Yeah, I just got off pickleball court. What the hell's that? Oh, it's great. So why don't you just play tennis? I asked. Apparently she didn't like that. Of course. Joan and Joel. So more like twins than husband and wife. Yeah. I think what it is, it would change for me. Again, sometimes you talk about a name, right? You name your child something, it sticks with them for life if it's not a good name. I don't like pickles, right? I don't like the whole dill taste. Now, if it were called ribeye ball, I mean, where's Rick now? Oh, guess where Rick is? Rick's on the ribeye court. Join us for the weekend of beef brisket ball. You going to come play some brisket ball with us? Yeah. I'll be there. Hey, by the way, I'll bring the cooler full of beer. That would change everything, wouldn't it? But no, it's pickleball. You could go with broccoli ball. That would be even worse. Nobody who eats broccoli likes broccoli. You've been brainwashed, okay? Pickleback shots. Yeah, that's what it would take. Toss salad ball. Jameson's followed by dill pickle juice. Oh, okay. Is that what they did? Nah, I wouldn't like that. I don't like the whole dill thing. My dad, man, oh man, did my dad love some pickles. My dad was into all that, man. Pickles. We worked on the farm, and you probably know what I'm talking about. I bet you've done it too. Olives. Remember olives in the jar? I never really liked olives either. But my dad, oh my, that was his snack, man. We'd go out to the barn. We had a fridge out there. And he would get in there and get those olives, get those pickles. Pickleball came from the Pacific Northwest, so there's your explanation. Got it. 100%. We have two cool announcements coming up here on the program soon. We will tell you what that is. By the way, people asked about Big Dog Pop. This is what it's going to look like. Well, that's not what I wanted. Hang on. Boy, I'm really organized today. What's going to be a great ceremony this morning. There we go. There's what we're going into. So Big Dog Pop will be a thing here on this channel once we get through the school year and I'm done with games. And Big Dog Pop will be, we'll just get on and talk about any damn thing we want. We won't necessarily avoid sports, but it won't be sports centered. So there you go. Big Dog Pop coming soon to the channel. And we're going to have you on, which is what's great. In other words, it's not just going to be me yapping. You're going to send you invites. And you're going to jump on the screen with me. We'll talk about movies. We'll talk about TV. We'll talk about whatever the hell we want to. It'll be later in the day after work. If you have time, we'll figure out. But that's what it's going to look like. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a nice little logo there? Yeah. So that's coming. That's not one of the announcements, by the way. That's not one of the announcements. That's just, correct, Prometheus. The only thing I like about the Pacific Northwest is Bigfoot. Big Dog Pop t-shirts? Maybe so, Rodney. Hey, Rodney, let me know if my article comes out today. I just got the updated Patriot email, but it had last week's publication. I didn't get the May 1st publication. Let me know if that comes out today, will you? I wrote about the whole Brent Sorsby thing. It may just be a mistake. I'll check later. But I logged in because I always get that email early, and I got one from last year. Or not, I'm sorry. Got one from last week. Last week. Does that make Rick Watson a pop star? I see what you're doing. Yeah, we might have to put that. People are liking the logo. We want any explanation. All right, here we go. So, of course, that's that's an animated version of Balboa Creed. And he would be in a cap and have headphones on and sunglasses because that's, how cool he is. You got the superhero outfit, you got records, you got TV, you got movie cameras. I mean, it's all right there. That would look good on a shirt, wouldn't it? I guess it would. Maybe that. Hey, Vic always talks about our mugs. That'd be a good mug right there, wouldn't it? Hey, mug companies want it. Yeah, let me know, Rodney. Hey, I just checked, and I got the one from last Friday, the 27th. I don't know why. It came on time, the Patriot update, but it didn't have today's publication in it. So let me know. It was entitled 100 Bets Before I Get Out of Bed. That's the name of the salty country ham would help. Dill pickles, olives, Colby cheese. Oh, Dad loved all that stuff. But he would go and he had a cup. And he had one of these giant Mount, I think it was, what was the name of it? Was it Mount Olive? You remember, y'all know what I mean. You grew up same time I did. Gigantic jars of olives, man, with the brine in it. And he had a big cup he'd just scoop out, and that was his snack, man. Yeah, I need to do that, Vic. I'm not good at stuff like that. Yeah, I need to do that. It is a good logo, though. It is a good logo. Speaking of our shirts, Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, by the way. Oh, there we go. He made our shirts, and they are terrific. If you don't have one, shame on you. 540-616-8153. Summertime, you need a shirt to wear at the beach. There's your shirt right there, Top Shelf Apparel, the man, Brandon. He did a great, great job with our shirts. Thanks to the NRV Super Bowl. 540-382-5525. We're going to have our bash over there here in a few weeks. Potential attendance seems to be growing, so it's good. 382-5525. Go out and reserve your lanes today. Stay in that area and do not come to Radford tonight or tomorrow. You'll be very sorry you did. Sundown Electric, one of the best reputations, long list of satisfied clients, superior craftsmanship, honest integrity, great work, cheap prices, the best they can do. They'll be very honest up front. Thanks to the Smith brothers. They are awesome. Hit them up today. ReadySetFund.com. Bob Christ, BOBCRST11 @Gmail. Bob does a great job for the community here with the Ready Set Fund. They've raised $4,300 for softball over at Floyd County alone. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply has been doing it since 1997. Give James a call, 540-381-8011, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Great, great dude, James. Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors. That's Travis Williams up in Dublin, right across from the New River Community College. 38 years in business. They're now a regional and national business, and they sponsor our text line. I bet you I get anywhere from 30 to 50 texts just throughout the day from different people. It's great. Means the show means something. Don't ever think. A lot of people say, hey, sorry to bug you. You're not bugging me. You're not bugging me. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program. It's my exclusive banking partner. I had to go refinance some things. I had some leftover things from my parents' death and some things that were happening. And I worked with Jamie down at the Radford branch. And they made that thing so much easier than I ever imagined it was going to be. If you're frustrated with your own bank, get it done. Get it done. BDST fan question week. That's the attorney, Ryan Pry. He's an attorney in Radford because he is the attorney, Ryan Pry. 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. And it was an easy win, and you all were right. Nothing's going to happen to Mike Vrabel. We ended up with 28 votes. 28 votes. Thank you, Richie Davis, BDST Legal Counsel. Richie, if I ever take up ribeye ball, you'll be my partner. Little River Heating and Air. Charles Lee, I saw their trucks out yesterday, and when I see their trucks out, I go, you know what? Somebody's going to be at least leaving somebody's house very happy, right? Charles and his crew are terrific. If you don't know the story, it was last February a year. So it was February of 2025. I come home. I was gone on an extended basketball trip, and as I'm coming up the driveway, I see the neighbor happened to be out, and they're flagging me down. And I'm like, what's going on? Well, I said, well, last night there was a big loud noise, and we think your house got struck by lightning. What? Now, my son had been gone, and he came home, and they wouldn't have any power this morning. What's going on? Well, lightning had struck both of my units. I mean, they were fried. No heat, nothing in the house. And I was so worried about everything. And I called Little River, and they were awesome. Oh, that's it. See, this is why Richie Davis is smarter than me. Bacon Ball. Why did I not name it Bacon Ball? Of course. If this were named Bacon Ball, I'd be out there 6 times a week. And then whoever won would supply the bacon. But in any event, go to Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2970. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, Jonathan Sweet, Tim Miller. More racing this weekend. They're already releasing all the things they're getting ready for the summer. There's already been 5 or 6 different activities. The Sportsplex is on time. It's going to be open on time in August, 165 square feet. Other communities are getting involved. We're going to try to have Jonathan on Monday. It is unbelievable what they've been able to accomplish in a short amount of time. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hunley. It's unbelievable how much he will help your body. Go over and see him. 155 Walters Drive, sponsor of our chat room. He's the absolute best. Mark, no nonsense. And you talk about explaining everything that the machines can do to help you. You need to go see Mark. He's terrific, and you'll get to know him, and he'll be your friend. You know, he'll be a guy. He's a friend. He's a friend of mine, not just my doctor, my chiropractor. He's a friend of mine. And where we do the program most days, just about every day, Family Fencing Studio. I guess wherever we are, it'll be the Family Fencing Studios. Get a quote, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrb.com. Thanks to Jason Green and company. Thanks to all these wonderful people. All right, where are we here? Mount Olive Kosher Deer. Yeah, that was the Mount Olive jars, correct. T-shirt would be sweet with that logo. Big Dog bobbleheads merch coming in 2027. I have not seen Steve Buscemi on a T-shirt. No. This might be the worst NBA playoffs ever. And that's saying something. I'm not watching. Players are injured. Either that or they decided to take their load management into the postseason because, By the way, guilty pleas starting to come out with the gambling probe. This is about to get really ugly. Guys are taking deals, and they're coming forward with everything. So good luck, Adam Silver. Good luck. Yeah, what happened to all the Hornets? Exactly. What happened to all the Hornets hype? They didn't make it, did they? All I kept hearing was, wow, those Hornets, they're buzzing around. No. Have you ever tried home fermentation, Morris? made homemade sauerkraut and various pickles. Oh, I'll tell you what, man, you would have loved. My dad would have loved what you were cooking, T-Bird. Do we have fresh market stores here in the NRB? Do we? Do we have? Isn't there a store in Blacksburg? Peeps leaving karaoke cover on my voicemail. Big dog ball. I think I would go with Richie. I think I'd just call it bacon ball. I mean, you're not ever going to lose with bacon. Oh yeah, somebody in text, Jeff said, "What was that on your glass?" That's the old Broncos, the nag. That's my favorite logo. 62 to 67, they had that as their primary logo. It was never on the helmet. They did have that horse on the helmet. I don't know if I have that out. Yeah, I do. Hang on. There you go. That was the helmet. A lot of people hate it. Bronco fans, a lot of the old newer fans, but I like it. It's vintage. You there? Yeah. There you go. That was actually a Christmas ornament that my mom got me. So, yeah. So I keep that close by. Yeah. It's the Finally Friday edition. We're just we're waiting on Will Stewart. That's what we're doing. Having fun talking about pickles. All right, hang on, Jeremy. Everybody wants to see the logo again. Wow, this logo is like gotten a lot of love. Boom. Oh, hang on. Boom. If you say boom, you got to deliver. There you go. There's the Big Dog Pop logo. And it'll be just a fun thing, man. No pressure. No language barriers. Dwight Vick, I'm trying to get Dwight on the first one. By the way, Dwight and I have an announcement coming up soon. I kind of teased it. Kentucky Derby is this weekend. That's right. Yep. Used to always watch it. I don't have it around, but my dad loved Secretariat. He's got a really cool a vintage portrait of Secretariat that I kept because he kept it down in he called it his hunting outdoors room, and he had that picture up. And so I wanted it. The 1972 Belmont Stakes. I watched that race the other day, just watching him kind of start out all chill, you know. He was just meh. And then he started, before he got midway through the big turn, he started to catch up with the two leaders, and then he's just kind of hitting his stride. And I'm telling you, man, when he decided to turn it on, that was one of the most. We talk about athletes and their dominant performances. What Secretary did to win the Triple Crown, that last leg of the Triple Crown, was just. It's still awe-inspiring. He won it by 30-some lengths, if I'm not mistaken, maybe more than that. And the great track announcer is on the call. What was his name? I hate just calling some dude an announcer. Horse shaving. It's important to type in things correctly. I don't know if it was it Sheik Anderson? Tom Durkin, 2004. I don't know who was on the call for Secretariat. It's bugging me. I got to get it right. Sheik Anderson. Yeah. Thought so. Secretariat is alone. He's moving like a tremendous machine. 31 links. He won that race. I mean, Secretariat was finished. He was in the barn snacking on hay, and nobody else had finished yet. They're already hosing him down. Oh, here comes the second place horse. Hey, look at that. Look at that. All right. Let's see now. So as soon as I mention Secretariat, I've got 2 requests. They want to. All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna show the final kick. How's that? I'll do the best I can. Secretariat, Belmont Stakes. We won't watch the whole race. Here we go.
With White to Prince fourth, then it's another 8 lengths back to Private Smiles, who is trailing the field. They continue down the backstretch, and that's Secretariat not taking the lead.
All right, there's Secretariat just now taking the lead before they get to the backstretch. Let me see here. How do I get that stuff out there?
For the turn, it's Secretariat. It looks like he's opening. The lead is increasing.
There we go.
Make it 3.5. He's moving into the turn.
That's Sheik Anderson, by the way, on the call. Now remember, this is for the Triple Crown against the world's best.
The first 3/4 of a mile in 109 4/5. Secretariat is widening now. He is moving like a tremendous machine. Secretariat by 12. Secretariat by 14 lengths on the turn.
And that back there is the second place horse.
Secretariat is all alone. He's out there almost a 16th of a mile away from the rest of the horses. Secretariat is in a position that seems impossible to catch.
I mean, just look at this.
Secretariat leads his field by 18 lengths.
It's never happened before. It'll never happen again. I mean, this is the Belmont Stakes, for God's sakes. And look how long it takes the second place horse to finally cross. There you go. You'll see that tomorrow, I'm sure. Maybe. Man, I guess since it's the Kentucky Derby, they won't, but they'll always show it at the Belmont. You know that Secretariat was in the barn bragging all the yeah, he was in there with all the mares. So I guess you saw that. Yeah, isn't that a great call? How great is his voice? Sheik Anderson. And what I loved about it, too, he did a great job to harness his just complete awe. He's running like a machine. He's ahead by 3/4 of a mile. What's happening? Well, you're watching maybe the greatest non-human athlete ever. That's what you're watching. That's cool. That's cool. Was a great call. Sheik Anderson. I wanted to make sure I got that right. Being a broadcaster myself, not at that level, but you don't want to miscredit guys. So, and he did it for years. Horse shaving. The job reminds me of the guy on the farm who had to use a foot-long wooden swaths. What are you doing today? I got to shave the horses. Ooh. I guess you won't be having lunch. Yeah, please, no hot dogs. Yeah, I do too. Prometheus. Like every so often, I'll just be thinking about Al Michaels' great call of Team USA. We played that here as the Olympics were going on. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. You hear it on the open here on the program. I mean, here you go. The things I never thought I'd be saying because I used to make fun of my dad. Things were better back then. Yeah, that has never been broken, what he's done. I don't think the time has either. I don't think it's even approachable. I think what that was like it was a non-Earth vessel that day. And then the jockey, I don't remember the jockey's name. I just remember him being like, he just decided that he was going to go ahead and just go. Like he goes, it was just a great feeling. It was very rare. And he was always riding Secretariat, but it's like that day he knew that this horse was, I'm in charge today. You just don't mess this up. Put the whip away. You're not going to need it. I'm good. I'm good. All righty. Well, we're 10 links up here before we get to the half turn. I guess he's right. Let's just run this thing out. 31 links to win the Triple Crown. Wow. It's a beautiful portrait I have. I'll have to bring that out sometime and show you. I have it in storage. But anyway. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff all the way around. How are you going to spend your sporting weekend? There's a lot going on today. This morning. A couple things this morning. The big one being the athletics graduation. Deadman is packed with chairs right now. We've got thousands of chairs in there. We'll have about 600 people, 700 people there this morning. Havlicek. Havlicek stole the ball. We can get Coach Elmo involved in that one. Johnny Most. That wasn't the one with Bird. Remember that one? He was also on the call with Bird. They estimated Secretary could run for. Good Lord, really? Well, yeah. It looked like he was running that during that kick. I mean, I see it, and you can watch it. You can find like the really cool. It's not necessarily HD, but the really good video version of the actual broadcast. And you just sit there, and every time you see it, you're just in awe. And how methodical he was. You know, he didn't start out in the league. You know, he started out, he was like 4th, 5th. He's just. Yeah. So now you can come up with a lot of scenarios about what Secretariat was. Now Wayne's got me thinking. Secretariat was saying to the mares in the barn, all right, I'm going to go get cleaned up. When all these other dudes finally get in here, I'll be back. And we'll go out and we'll do something, okay? We'll go out and we'll have a nice time. Well, hurry back. Hurry back, Mr. Secretariat. Bye. He averaged 37.5 miles per hour during the Belmont. So in other words, he'd been caught for speeding in school zones and then some. 37.5 miles per hour. An animal that large. That's an athlete. Really? Wow. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we've had a lot of them. One of the ones I always remember is Vern Lundquist, the 1980 Super Bowl, 79 season, 80 Super Bowl, the Steelers and the Cowboys. No, it was one before that, 78. It was the 78 season, 79 Super Bowl with Jackie Smith. Roger Staubach hit a wide open Jackie Smith right in the 81, and he dropped it. And Vern Lundquist said, oh, he's got to be the sickest man in America. Great call. Great call. Yeah, the Immaculate Reception. Yeah. I'm still with you, Prometheus, and all Raiders fans. I believe that ball hit the defender first. And back then the rules were that was the end of the play. I think Madden was right. Attorney Richie Davis. He's got the Kentucky Derby 2026 trivia. Renegade starts from the challenging post position, number 1, which has not produced a winner since 1986. Really? So Renegade is the favorite. I have not looked at it. That's a good name for a horse. I like that. I like the one-word names. I don't like all this. They have some silly, silly names. Oh, dark oak cabinets around the turn. You know, they give the horses some stupid names. Phosphorus oxide in second place. Well, you know it would be great. Wouldn't this be great if you had a horse and you just named him Dave, and here comes Dave. What if Secretary's name would have just been Dave? How would that have changed the whole call of that race? Oh, watch out, though. Coming up on the outside is Dave. Dave is a runaway machine. Ferdinand. Yes, I do remember Ferdinand, 1986. I believe I remember watching that race with my dad. He always watched the big 3. We had horses, and he loved Secretariat. So Kentucky Derby now is more of it's such a social thing. I think it's almost like the race has become secondary. Usain Colt is leading hoof-hearted, but here comes mayonnaise. Well done, Wade. Mayonnaise. What movie was that? That was Louis Gossett Jr. What's the name of that movie? Oh, mayonnaise. Remember, it was the, I don't know. Am I not remembering that right? Wasn't there a guy named, hey, there you go, an officer to gentleman. See, we're segueing into Big Dog Pop right now. Thanks, Pezzo. Pezzo, your Steelers got robbed. Your Steelers got a huge break with the Immaculate Reception. Sorry. Wouldn't have stood up. Mint juleps this weekend. I was at Gulfstream Park in Hollywood, Florida once, and they ran out of mint at the main track bar. Oh, there was going to be a riot. You imagine running out of mint juleps? That'd be like running out of the pimento cheese sandwiches at the Masters. Mint julep, please. I'm one of the many associate elite here at the event that is called the Kentucky Derby. I believe that you trot out steeds. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mrs. Rockefeller. We're out. We're out of mint juleps. But you know what? We've got some 7-Up over here we can give you with a little bit of caramel. Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Will Stewart's going to join us momentarily. Mike Ashley, I think he's upset about the tournament. And I think Jen is in Orlando. I'm not sure where Jen is. Now, she and I have been together all these years. I've had to gotten used to her not knowing where she is ever. Switch to Jameson and Ginger, all worked out. I have not. Creed was an all-nighter. And when I got up a little after 4 a.m., He's just kind of sits patiently. He's ready to come in. He kind of just struts in here and eats a little bit, plops down. I have not seen him since. It was brisk last night, like right now even. It's 41. It was down to 37 last night. Jeez Louise. Here we are, May the 1st, man, and it's 41 degrees. Are you kidding me? $41 degrees. Thanks. I know, Pezzo, you got your guy. I thought about you. When they took Alar, I said, you know what? Pezzo said that's who he wanted. Yeah, I do firmly believe that, Wayne. He knows that he's the king. He displays it during like yesterday evening. He's out in the yard, and it's his yard, right? He's scoped it. He's got everything marked, and he knows if anything moves, when you see, it's funny how all these great cats and even the domesticated cats, and same thing with other animals like that, how they're all the same qualities. You see the big lion out on his area, and he sits on the front porch. He just kind of looks over the big yard, Yeah. Don't come in here. Don't come in here. Yeah, I saw that too. At night next weekend, figures, baseball weekend, low to mid 30s. It's 36 in southwestern Pennsylvania this morning. I wish we could get an update from Robert out in Montana. Robert, where you been? Wonder what it's like in Montana this morning. 36. Oh, by the way, Wayne, the Smokey and the Bandit, whether it was Hot Wheels or Matchbox, yes. You mean, do you even have to think twice about it? Look great. That's a big no. Big no, Wayne. No. Yeah, I'm not going to use my free weekend by showing up. Hey, how are you? Yeah, I'd like I'd like a ticket. I'd like a ticket to The Devil Wears Prada 2. Shh. No, I won't be saying 85. No. Okay. Maybe you think that's expensive, but we're talking Cletus here, Wayne. We're talking the freaking Bandit, okay? Yeah, I could. Right here in Christiansburg, I could go over and hit Panera, and as my gums bleed out, I could sit there in the dark at the theater and have a spit cup. Nobody would ever know. Sitting there with my spit cup, I look over and see somebody else. He goes, Panera? Yeah. Yes, Pezzo, 100%. He's the greatest sheriff depiction, law enforcement depiction ever. Buford T. Justice made Smokey and the Bandit, 100%. I can watch that movie and laugh like I've never seen it before. Male bonding. Is it though? I mean, is that male bonding if you're going to Panera and then going to see The Devil Wears Prada 2? Who sat around Hollywood with all their myriad of horrible ideas and said, you know what? I know what we need. We need to remake a movie. What is it? How long has it been? 15 years? Well, all these actors or actresses are much older. Let's do it again. Nothing says we're fresh out of any kind of originality, that we can't come up with anything unless it's got a political directive behind it, more than saying you need, as a studio, to create Devil Wears Prada 2. Panera should have an in-house dentist. See, Wayne, I think that's just the opposite of male bonding. I was trying to invite Will. All the emails, all the emails are in alphabetical order. I almost invited Wes Durham on the show. Wes would have come on. What the hell? What'd you need? Hey, Wes, you're live. What do you take with you to eat at Panera? A handful of galls. Yeah. Galls in a spit cup. Yeah, I know, man. I got to look into this. Somebody sent me a message on the Professional Door text line. It says if you pay a $5 fee to YouTube per month, you can play unlimited songs. And I don't think that's accurate. I'm going to look it up. So, yeah, I'll let you know. I don't see how that would work. Like, they've got such copyright rules that they just throw at you. One day I let our open of the show that plays Jump Around, I let it play for maybe 10 seconds longer than I usually did, instead of cutting it off right after the the voice parts. And I got a message from YouTube saying I had violated the copyright rules. I didn't get a copyright strike, but I got a warning. That was 10 seconds. So I don't know. Mediterranean veggie. Mm-hmm. So not only do I just shatter my teeth and tear out my gums, I'm eating a vegetable sandwich. Yes. I mean, let's make that Panera experience even more enticing. I see it, Wayne. I see it. Oh, we're having a blast today. Got a lot going on today with the athletics graduation ceremonies this morning, all morning. And then it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. Called a lot of these kids' games, broadcast most of these kids' games. So it's always cool to see them walking around off the stage. Very proud. They'll high-five me. All right, so we'll get into all of our games. Good stuff this morning. A preview of the next show that's coming on the channel. All right, joining us now on the program. There he is. It's been too long, but now he's all set up. He's in his new abode. He's got his leather chair, his new sign. It is Will Stewart from Tech Sideline. Good morning, man. How are you?
What's going on, Rick? Is the audio coming through okay?
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Sounds good. Congratulations getting everything set up. It was a long move, wasn't it? You said it was going to be.
3 weeks. And we still got stuff at the old house. I didn't sell my old house. I've still got it. So, man, that was exhausting. We got the keys on April 7th. And what's today, May 1st? Yeah, we're still moving some stuff, but it was a solid 3 weeks. And the good news is I lost 4 pounds during the move. So
did you really? Hey. Well, you don't have to rush since your house is still there. You haven't put it up for market yet. You can just kind of go whenever you can, right? So that's kind of cool.
Yep, that is correct. So what do you think of the new setup here? I wish you could see all of it. I wish we had the whole landscape thing going on.
I'll tell you this. You sent me some pictures. I think I was already asleep that night, but I like that dark shade of green that you have in that. I like that. That's the kind of green that I like. I thought that looked sharp. It kind of reminded me like of an old game pool room you see. It was cool. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I like that aesthetic of that color. So
Yeah, my wife nailed that. She picked she always picks the colors, and actually she designed the whole house, so
That's right. You told me that. Yeah.
it's
Now
all
is
her.
it?
I'm
Yeah,
just
you were.
living in it and paying for it.
Now, isn't it? Is it one floor? You tried to describe it once. Is it like just because everything's easy accessible? It makes sense, kind of, right?
Yeah, it's a ranch. It's got a full basement. But 10, 20, 30 years from now, when we can no longer get up and downstairs, you can live in the upstairs. It's got everything you need up there. Um, there is zero entry everywhere, meaning if you get out of your car and you're in your wheelchair and you're wheeling your wheelchair up to the door, there's some places where there's code where you got to have a little bit of a step over. But like literally the whole house is wheelchair accessible.
Good. That's good.
It's planning for I always tell people this is the house I'm going to die in. They're going to drag my dead body out of it. But that's the way it's designed. It's designed to be the final home. We were in our old house for 28 years. We've done our thing of raising the kids and getting them through college, and it's our time now. So
there you go. Yeah.
So the basement is honestly it's the cool part. We got a bar down here that we call the lounge. I've got a theater room with a ginormous TV and just a rocking in-ceiling sound system, like free advertising. Audiotronics did the
They are great.
television
Yeah, they are
and
great.
sound. And then I finally got my own office that is very cool. I wish I could throw pictures up so people could see what it looks like, but it's I've worked hard to get here, man. Hopefully I'll get 28 years in this house.
People are asking about is that dark whiskey behind you or barbecue sauce? If I know Will Stewart, that's dark whiskey.
So that is a bottle of the Tech Sideline bourbon that was made by J.H. Bards in Blacksburg. We did a collaboration with them last fall where they had a single barrel pick and they produced I think it wound up being about 300 and some bottles. That's how many fifths you can get out of a barrel. And I don't know how well you can see it. It's their regular bottle, but there's a Tech Sideline logo right there, a little circular Tech Sideline logo. So we got the branding on point, man. I got the shirt, we got the hat, I got the huge backlit logo, and we've got the little logo on the bottle. So
there you go.
Plus my little thing that says Will Stewart Tech Sideline. So who am I? Where am I from?
Marketing, baby.
That's right. Oh, yeah. And so I'm taking a page from the Gen playbook. I actually have you can see it reflected in my glasses. I actually have a ring light. So here's what it looks like when you turn that thing off. See?
Oh yeah, it makes a big difference. Yeah,
they do make a big difference. I was working with it in preparing for the debut of this office on BDST, and ring lights make a huge difference. Although if you have glasses, you have to keep your head down like this.
That's true. Yeah.
Every once in a while, Jen will be on your show and she'll be talking and her head will go up and you see the ring light.
It burns.
I'm an alien.
I think today's exciting because I think she's with Holly today.
I guess we'll find out.
I think
if she comes on
and she's in Vegas next week, and she swears she's going to do the show. So there we go. I know, right? Yeah.
Here's Jen at 4 a.m. in Vegas. Should I just stay up another few hours?
I'm not going to go to bed. Hey, I'm not going to bed. Yeah.
Have you ever had her show up on your show when she's in Vegas drunk? That would be awesome.
Oh, I know. Wouldn't that be great?
Or I'm drunk right now. So
yeah. She just puts it up on the phone, Hey, we're here. This is great. All right. So
has anything happened since the last time
I was going to ask you? Yeah. I mean, no one is saying that they don't like what happened. They don't necessarily like that he's hanging around for a little bit. But, hey, new athletic director coming to Blacksburg. And the last time we were with you, we kind of continued to speculate about when it would be, not if, after President Sands had resigned. So here we are.
It's interesting now that everything's played out. You can just see you can see the sequence of events. Glenn Youngkin becomes governor. He appoints different kinds of people to the BOV. As you know, academia is full of people who like to talk. They like to talk about stuff. They love to talk about stuff and talk.
No matter what it is.
Talk. It's what they do for a living. They stand up in front of kids and they talk, and they go to conventions and they talk. So there are people that like to talk, and there are people that like to get things done.
Right.
And in my opinion, Young can put a bunch of people on the BOV that want to get stuff done. And that presentation that Witt did to the BOV last fall, where he basically laid out how dire things were monetarily for the athletic department. That was an interesting thing, because when he did that presentation, it was like, oh, this is terrible. We need more money. And he's the guy who's been running the athletic department for 12 years and making certain decisions about fundraising and things like that. So I don't know if the BOV drove the bus on him making that presentation, but it started the ball rolling. And he said they were going to, raise a lot of extra money to pay for everything. And the months went by, and the Invest to Win campaign that they were talking about never got announced. So the months are just dragging on. And so there was a group of donors and went to talk to Tim Sands to say, things aren't happening. This was 5 high-level donors who went and talked to Tim Sands and said, the situation with athletics is getting critical. We need to do something. We need to move. And so Tim Sands had his contract was running through the middle of 2027. Witt's contract was through 2029. And I think bluntly put, they were telling Sands, you have to change athletic directors. You need a new guy or a new girl at the top to run things and get things going, because every day we don't make progress is a day we're falling further behind. And Sands has done a lot of good stuff for the university, and he's towards the end of his tenure. And I'm not sitting here saying that he retired a year early because donors pressured him about the athletic department. That's kind of cliche. That's SEC territory. But that did happen. That conversation did happen. And he's probably got some other stuff going on. He probably thought to himself, you know what? I just need to step out a year early. I've gotten everything done I want to get done. I don't want to do this. I do not want to. I don't want to go on a major search and be part of a major search my last year here. So I'll just step down a year early. And once Sands did that, you knew the ball was rolling on Witt. You knew the clock was ticking, not ball rolling, but clock ticking. And we heard it got announced on a Thursday. That sounds like Forrest Gump. It got announced on a Thursday. But I was told the Thursday before that it was coming. And so what they wound up doing, Rick, was, Witt's got 3 more years on his contract. He runs through 2029, probably middle of 2029. And this emeritus deal that they set up for him, where he's still going to be employed by the university, he's going to sort of be a consultant to the athletic department, but he's not going to be the athletic director. Sure, he's going to hang around another 2 or 3 years and make about, $1 million a year, but he will actually be making $1 million less in total than he was going to make if he had stayed as athletic director.
Right.
So that's the setup. And so now it's an interesting game to watch play out. You've got these guys on the board, Jay Pearson, Ryan McCarthy, Rakovic, the rector, John Rakovic, the rector, and Mihal Sangani has been reappointed to the board. And these are people of varying politics, but they are all get things done kind of people. And when they announced, I'm trying to remember, Jay Pearson did speak with the press recently, and I think that was part of this. It was a regular BOV meeting recently. And they were doing the athletics department part. And Jay said repeatedly, we need to move fast. We need to move fast. So The BOV is currently full of people who get things done and want to move fast on appointing a school president and appointing a new athletic director. But with Abigail Spanberger now being the governor, some of these terms are going to start to expire. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who the BOV member is that cycles off in July. But Spanberger is going to start appointing her people, and the makeup of the board is going to start to change. So I think the people that are currently on want to get it done and get it done fast. And by it, I mean hiring a new school president and hiring an athletic director. I think they want to get it in under the wire before the makeup of the board starts to change.
That makes sense. That does make a lot of sense. Well, president will be first, right? Then they'll go to the AD. Lots of stuff being written. Hey, be proud of me. Look, I'm trying to cut down on my soda intake, so I'm at water. I'm at water.
I was going to say, is that vodka or?
Well, if I wasn't hosting some banquets this morning, I would. Hey, kids! Congratulations.
You need to. So like when you get old enough and decide you want to retire, you need to go out in a blaze of glory, man. You just need to show up hammered, drunk, and get handsy with some important donors and.
Just grab the mic from the podium and walk out through the audience and be like the lounge guy. Hey, what's going on? Hey.
Just imagine the viewership on BDST the following day.
You look smashed. You look dynamite. Hey. So your preference, there's a lot of names out there for athletic director. It's going to be interesting. I mean, let me ask you this, because I don't know the answers. You were there in the heyday when you started Tech Sideline. Coach Beamer obviously had power. John Boleyn had a lot of power. How did they utilize that? Was that he always seemed like the same guy to me. When I started this show back on the radio in 2001, I had a weekly go over to his office. He was great. Open door policy. Hey, come in. If I'm not there, just sit in the office. By then, Tech's a perennial top 15 program, and he's doing everything right, and they're rolling. He never seemed to change from the guy who almost got fired in 1992 to me. He just seemed like that guy. And I know he had lots of power. Hell, he got the bypass bill. His program got that bypass bill.
Yeah.
But it feels like James Franklin's got absolute power from people I know that are working in that department. It's interesting how quickly this has happened. I guess my point is to you, my question, how much power ultimately did Beamer, Boleyn, that whole combination have? And is it similar at all to what you're seeing already that Franklin's been given? Because I don't know. I can't remember. I wasn't around as closely as you were and a lot of other people were at that time.
I've always thought, Frank and Dave Brain had a collaborative relationship.
Yeah.
And then Dave left for Georgia Tech in 1996. 97. Yeah, I remember I just started Hokie Central, and I remember writing about Dave Brain leaving for Georgia Tech. That was early 97. They hired Jim Weaver, and Jim started, I remember his first day on the job, or his first week on the job as athletic director, was the week that Virginia Tech lost at home to Miami of Ohio. That was Jim Weaver's first football game. Yay! Virginia Tech was number 12 in the country, got knocked off at home by Miami of Ohio. And the Miami of Ohio coach was doing an interview on the field after the game, and one of Virginia Tech's band members bumped into him while he was doing the interview. And he goes like this, and he said, well, their band hits harder than their football team.
That's great.
So that was Jim Weaver's first week on the job. That was 1997. It was the fall of 2000 that Frank was going to leave for UNC. He flew down there and verbally told them, I'm leaving. Came back to Blacksburg and changed his mind. That was a showdown in my opinion, between Frank Beamer and Jim Weaver. Frank had been promised some facilities improvements that weren't materializing. He had requested $100,000 to spread out amongst his assistants. Now, back then, his entire coaching staff only made about $1 million. So $100,000 was a 10% raise for them.
Yeah.
And Jim said no. So Frank said, fine, I'll court UNC. I'll flirt with UNC. What ultimately wound up happening was the myth is that Paul Torgeson stepped in and mediated and got things straightened out. Dr. Torgerson himself told me that's not true. I think he was fibbing. I think he did. I think he was just being humble. But that was the peeing match between Frank Beamer and Jim Weaver, and Frank won. And I don't know if it's fact or legend that from that point on, Frank reported to the school president, not the athletic director.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that was contractual or what, but I remember, this is 25 years ago, 26 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff gets fuzzy in your mind. So Frank was the alpha dog in the athletic department from that point on. But he and Jim, their relationship was fine. They did a good job growing and building things. James Franklin isn't there yet, but he does have a tremendous amount of influence. I think one of the things that came out recently is that he carries around a copy of Witt's presentation to the BOV, where it promises all this stuff, and he says, "Where's my money?" We were told when James Franklin was hired that if there are fundraising initiatives that the Hockey Club, for example, is supposed to raise money for, that Franklin doesn't sit there and politely wait for the money. He will call members of the fundraising organization and say, "How's it going? How's it going on my $5 million for my whatever?" So he's a very forceful personality. And in my opinion, he was making it clear that progress was not happening fast enough on the things that were talked about and were promised to him when he was hired. And so he does have some influence, and the pressure started to build, and those certain donors that went to talk to President Sands agreed with it. And so that's and Coach Franklin is part of the process of hiring a new athletic director, and I'm pretty sure he's even involved in hiring the school president. Certainly, he's not going to be a decision maker there, but they'll ask what he thinks about things. So he does have the guy's undefeated at Virginia Tech, right? Never lost a game, so he's still got some pretty good influence.
That's kind of scary to think they'd allow a football coach to have influence over the president. AD, I fully
understand. You know what? I'm going to walk back on that because I don't know that for a fact. That's pretty cheeky. I shouldn't say that unless I'm 100% sure, and I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah. I mean, 8%, right? Is David Teal pointed out. I mean, athletics at Virginia Tech's 8% of the revenue. That's 92% of campus that this president has to be concerned about. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but as the old saying goes, it's the front porch of the university. All the money that
it is.
All the money that you raise for academics, how much of that is raised when you're in a luxury box at a football game?
Right, just off a conversation or two, right? Yeah.
At a football game that otherwise wouldn't be happening. So there's some fuzziness there. Yes, it's only one out of every, what is that, $12.50 on the expense line, but where a lot of the passion is.
Do you have a preference? Do you have somebody's name that you've heard that you like for AD?
No, anytime a coaching position comes open or administrative type position, there's a lot of people that follow college sports as a whole that have, oh yeah, I've always liked this guy. I'm not that guy. There are people out there that will watch a basketball game and they know who the referees are and they know how they officiate a game.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. I don't know. I recognize what's his name, the guy from Roanoke. I can see him in my mind. Roger Ayers.
Yeah. Everybody knows Roger.
And everybody recognizes Ted Valentine, who I think is since retired. But those are the only two officials I know. I will say one thing. No, I do not want Jeff Bourne to come out of retirement. For Pete's sake. I mean,
are they saying that really? Is that they're trying to?
That's what's Rick. Anytime stuff like this opens up, there's always a portion of the fan base that is like, "Oh, you gotta hire a Hokie. You gotta hire somebody from the state of Virginia." No, you don't have to hire a Hokie, and you don't have to hire somebody from the state of Virginia. Now, one thing I will tell you to look out for is that the BOV members that are driving the bus here, these are serious business people. They know how stuff works. And I believe that you are not going, and again, I'm not real up to speed on trends around college athletics. Vanderbilt, I think it was Vanderbilt that I remember seeing news items 5 to 8 years ago that Vanderbilt was actually putting athletics under the university as opposed to having it run independently. And what does that mean? I don't know. I would have to go back and read up and see exactly what that means. Whatever Vanderbilt did, it's working. They are good in every sport now. So I think that the people on the BOV see the trends in college athletics. This classic model of you got an athletic director who reports to the president, and then the AD runs his department in a vacuum, which is what Witt did. Witt ran it in a vacuum and reported up to the BOV and the school president, hey, everything's great. And it wasn't. And those of us that follow college athletics know that we were falling behind. From a money standpoint, from a competitive standpoint, facilities, fundraising. We watched the whole thing. We watched it fall apart. But the people up above Witt were told it was fine, and they didn't pay close attention. So back to the topic, I don't think it's possible you're not going to see that traditional model anymore, that instead you will have a CEO of athletics, and there will be an athletics director who is more of a COO, chief of operations, who will report to the CEO. I think the structure is going to be different. So pay attention to that this time around when they start making the hires and start handing out job titles and stuff like that.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. Well,
I've had people ask me, do you think Jeff King is a candidate? Pulaski County native, tight end for the Hokies, played in the NFL. He's in front office management, I think, for the Bears, last I heard.
Yeah, he got a promotion last week.
Wow. So what is his job title now? What does he do?
I'm not sure. But usually when you get a promotion in the NFL, it means a lot more money. I can't imagine he'd want to come and wrestle with the headaches of college athletics when he's been working meticulously through an NFL organization. The world's strongest league,
Yeah.
Unless he wants to come home. Unless he just wants to come home, which maybe he does.
It's wow. It's interesting. You saying that brings a lot of things up in my mind. College athletics, since NIL entered the landscape in 2021, it's been 5 years. It'll be 5 years this summer. College athletics is a way less fun place to be for everybody.
Exactly.
Administrators, coaches, there's a certain level of hate going on right now. That it's a very difficult field to work in because there are no controls, there are no guardrails. People are just doing whatever. So
he's the assistant general manager now of the Bears.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think you're coming to Blacksburg to deal with college athletics. Wow.
Which is a damn mess. Now, so the reason I said that whole thing about loving college athletics, if you are an athletic administrator and you do want to be in college athletics, man, Virginia Tech is a sleeping giant, Rick. There's so much that can be done here. And I'm just going to throw some random stuff at you. First of all, building a proper professional fundraising organization and taking the fundraising from 35 or 40 million a year to 60 or 70 million a year. If you roll in and do that, that's a nice feather in your cap for the next job. Build a softball stadium. The metal bleachers with the trailers on the back of it, that's crap. It's one of the most popular sports at Tech. Raise $6, $7, $8 million, build a proper softball stadium. And I don't know how people feel about what I'm about to say next, but Chris Coleman and I were sitting there watching a baseball game last weekend, and you can look out and see the outdoor track at Virginia Tech. You know where that's located? On Southgate Drive?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What do you say we get rid of the track, which almost never gets used? I know it gets used for practice, and Tech has a great track team. What do you say we get rid of the track and put a new basketball arena there, a convocation center? The room's there. The parking's there. Build a new convocation center there. You don't have to spend $300 or $400 million. I don't know where people get that number from. You can build JMU's, I think, cost 120 or 130 million. It doesn't take 300 or 400 million to build a new basketball arena. Get rid of the track, put a new basketball arena there, tear down Castle, or turn it into a football facility. There's so much you can come in here and do as an athletics administrator to make this place a lot better, to make it what it truly can be. I've had it with this old poor little Virginia Tech. We don't have any money. We have Bud Foster. We're doing a regular series of podcasts with Bud Foster, which is fantastic, by the way. Go to our YouTube channel, our Tech Sideline YouTube channel, and find it. Bud is great. It's really interesting stuff. In the very first episode, he's talking about helping out with fundraising, and he had a really good line. He said, Virginia Tech doesn't have any billionaires, but they got a lot of millionaires.
He's going to be speaking at the Blacksburg Sports Club on Wednesday. I'm going over there. I got invited to that, so I'm going to hang out with him a little bit, talk to him. So, yeah.
He's an outstanding podcast guest because in the course of a 1 hour long podcast, all you got to do is ask him about 5 or 6 questions.
Exactly, and he'll go.
He's a great talker, man. He loves telling stories, and it's so we're doing this as a we're doing it every 2 weeks with him. We call it Beyond the Pale, PAIL, and he likes it because first of all he likes us. He likes coming in and chopping it up with us, but it's also an opportunity for him to get a lot of stories out and document verbally a lot of his career, and to talk about. On the latest episode, we talked about the recruitment of Vince Hall, so Bud got to tell a very detailed story about how much more time you got.
We got a couple more minutes. Yeah, we got a couple more minutes. Yeah.
So he told a story about when Vince Hall and Xavier Deeby were the number 1 and number 2 recruits in the state the year that they were coming out of high school. And Xavier was never really going to go anywhere else, but Vince was being courted by UNC. And there was a moment late in Vince's recruitment where he wouldn't talk to Bud and the coaches. He wouldn't talk to Bud and the Virginia Tech coaches. He'd made a trip to UNC, and this is documented in an article we wrote where we interviewed Vince's high school coach, Lou Johnston. Vince took a trip to UNC and was escorted around by a young lady that he became smitten with. We'll just put it that way. And he told UNC coaches he was going to go there. And then he went back to Chesapeake and wouldn't talk to the VT coaches. So Bud told this whole story about going into Western Branch High School, finding out what class Vince was in, and standing in the hallway waiting for Vince to come out of the class.
That's great.
And when Vince came out, Bud put his arm around him and said, "Come on, we're going to go talk." And he took him down the hallway, took him into a room where they had Jim Cavanaugh, and they had can't remember who else was coaching on the defense at that point in time. I don't think Frank was there, but everybody else was. And they told Vince, that girl's going to be hosting somebody else this coming weekend. Same way she hosted you. You need to come to Virginia Tech. You need to call them, tell them you're not coming. So he gives Bud a chance to tell stories like that, and it's really good stuff.
Yeah, he used to do that. He used to come on the show, the old radio show, every week, along with he and Frank. It was just, and he would get into stories about specific parts of games, and you're just sitting there like you're, yeah. Then what happened? You know what happened, but you're like, yeah.
I was describing a play from the 2005 Maryland game where they had a tackle called Jared Gaither pull out, and I said, I think it was I don't know if it was a sweep or an option or something, and Bud said, yeah, and he said what the play was.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And Mike Young can do the same thing. You can say to Mike Young, when Wofford came into Castle Coliseum one time and they threw an alley-oop off an inbounds pass and dunked it. When Virginia Tech hired Mike Young, Chris Coleman brought that up in the press conference, and Mike talked about that play in detail. He said, Virginia Tech had been in this kind of defense, and we had these kind. He remembered a play from I don't know when that was, like 2003 or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy in a good way.
Yep.
Well, it's good to see you again, man. Good setup. Glad to have you back. You let me know how often you want. I know when it's in the off season, we kind of take a little time off and things like that. But just let me know, man. We love to have you. So.
Yeah, I too can come on and talk about Kentucky Derby horse races named Dave and.
Yeah, Dave, right? Wouldn't that change everything if like the Triple Crown threat was just like one syllable? Here's Stan.
Man, Bob, the horse race named a racehorse named Bob.
Let's go, Bob.
I tuned in about 10 minutes earlier, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, Rick, please send me the link.
It was great.
Me the link so I can get off.
People were going nuts. That's great. That's the kind of stuff people want to talk about. So, good stuff. All right, brother. Have a great weekend. And congrats on the move. Well, you're not completely moved, but for the most part, you're moved. So
for the most part, yeah. And I'm glad the maiden voyage of all this went well, and all the technical hurdles were overcome. And yeah, I think it looks sharp, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. Anytime, brother. Have me over. I like to see the whole thing in full throttle. So yeah.
We'll give you the tour. We'll do.
There you go. That's right. I just invited myself to your house. There you go.
I don't mind, man. I do that kind of stuff all the time.
I did.
Hey, I'll be over.
Hey, I'll call. Hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Take care.
All right, Rick. See you.
There you go. Will Stewart from Tech Sideline. Great stuff from him. All right, we're rolling along here. Thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors that we were just mentioning a moment ago, joining us now on the program. There he is. And I know this weekend means a lot to him because it's graduation weekend at Radford. We're having our athletics graduation ceremony this morning, our courting ceremony. What's up, Michael? Good morning.
Hey, they didn't have those when I was there. That's separate ceremony for the athletes. That's really nice. They do that because a lot of the athletes are still competing. So it's yeah,
they are. But this year the conference finally complied, and now they're all here. Because usually we have like a couple teams that can't take part in any of the graduation weekend. It never made any sense. So finally, I think people on campus were like, no. We got to fix this. So this year we'll have every team that has seniors represented today. This month.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, I got a funny graduation story for me. You know, I graduated. I actually finished up in the summer of '83, and then I started working in the fall of '83 at Radford, full time in the public relations office as assistant sports information director. And part of our duties were, you know, everybody pitched in the way it works at Radford. We all worked graduation, so that involved a lot of us. Donning our blue blazers and khakis and sunglasses and standing around the stage, making sure nobody fell down or anything, and just keep an eye. But you know, I always like that look. I look like, you know, a G-man or something there. You know,
yeah, that's a good look.
Yeah, on the Moffett Field, and I did that a lot of years until everybody realized, well, you work every weekend during the school year, so maybe you should take this day off.
Yeah.
And the reason you do that is because there's no place to park because everybody's in town. It's really tough around campus. But I was sitting in the meeting, getting ready for this, hearing about, you know, working graduation for the first time, and I'm thumbing through the programs, which just come back from the printer, and I'm looking around, and I see, hey, I can't work. I'm graduating because my name was in that list. So
sorry.
Yeah, they didn't like that though. So I worked anyway, and it was good. And I you know, it's such a great experience. Any family that's been through this, you know, you just love it. You're so proud. Your kids, you know, everyth's ahead of you now. So enjoy it now.
Right now, because you won't soon. Yeah, exactly. Tell them, you know about traffic and I'm telling people not to come to Radford this evening. We have the end, you know, the graduations this evening. Tomorrow is just, I mean, graduation day. You can't move, you can't breathe in Radford during graduation day. So stay away, people.
It was sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce.
That's right. Go somewhere else, at least for a few hours on Saturday. Wait till a late afternoon. You'll be okay late afternoon if you need to go through Radford this weekend. So, all right. So your open mic, I have a hunch what it might involve today.
Rush.
No, we don't know. We can talk about whatever you want. I just know you were kind of anxious to get to it.
It's cool. No, yeah. Well, let's do this because it'll open up. I didn't. Yeah. Anyway, well, I'll let it speak for itself. Is what I'll do.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there's a strong wind blowing us towards a 76 team NCAA tournament field in 2027. I was trying to work up my well-honed indignation, but there's a lot to be indignant about these days. And boss, I'm tired. This just in, the really big schools, especially the Power 2 of the SEC and the Big Ten, are going to get their way, and all others need not apply. Or in the case of mid-majors, are just going to get jobbed. Our only hope is NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee Chairman Martin Newton, the VP for athletics at Samford University, a voice of reason, I hope, and the son of former Alabama hoops coach C.M. Newton, he of the Technicolor test pattern jackets back in the day. I saw a quote from Martin that said the only reason for expanding the 68-team field is if it makes the tournament better. How do 8 more at-large teams, the likes of 16-loss Auburn and 15-loss Oklahoma, make the current tournament better? 12 games on a Tuesday and Wednesday instead of a first 4, already watering down the experience for small conference champions, many on a one-and-done gallows before the real show tips off Thursday. I've experienced both sides of this with my Highlanders, as have you, Rick. First round 1 seed versus 16 seed blowouts, but to play on that Thursday-Friday stage is its own reward. Your team on the 64-team bracket on every office copier in America. Damn it, if Mo Parker hadn't been so nervous when he was fouled on our first possession in 1998, we would have led Duke out of the gates. Mo clanked both his free throws, and I missed the opportunity to write about the Blue Devils' come-from-behind win over the Highs. Of course, we were all still giddy from our first conference tournament championship, so there was that. Then in 2018, RU was in a play-in game against LIU Brooklyn in Dayton and came away with a stirring victory behind Ed Polite and company. It was a magical week into a meeting with championship-bound Villanova in Pittsburgh. Yeah, we got smashed, but it wasn't even Villanova's biggest victory on their way to cutting down the nets. And it was great memories for all of us Highlanders there. And what a great week we had Dayton to Pittsburgh. That week turned me around on the play-in game, and I know some other smaller schools have had the same experience. Not sure it will be the same with a glut of Tuesday, Wednesday games in the future. This isn't just about the money, though of course it's about the money. It's also about more coaches and programs able to say, hey, we made the tournament, and the ever-fleeting job security that accompanies that moment. Maybe they should move the league champs. Yeah, the smaller, less financially solvent leagues that have those champions out of those first games and just have the big boy at-large teams battle. We could call it the participation round. Nah, I don't like that either. Dang it. I like the way it was with 64 teams and a minimum of play-ins. 31 conferences get automatic bids. And yeah, there's a lot, but some of those provide the most memorable moments in basketball history. Have sprung those underdogs finally in a national spotlight, getting their shot on a neutral court. Yeah, I know, with neutral officials, but those officials work the big time conferences, so they're obviously more familiar with those teams and how they play, and that is an inherent advantage. This is where I looked up a bunch of numbers, but this isn't something that we can quantify like that. You had something near perfect and you started tinkering, and pretty soon I'm going to have to pay to stream these games. And hey, you bracketologists, get off my hardwood. How do I quantify it? Let me channel Wilbur Shooter Flatch. Well, I'll tell you one thing. No school this small has ever been in a state championship game. The white coats are coming to put a jacket on me now. Used to be NCAA tournament time. I was feeling so good, I didn't even mind.
I know, man. And this isn't going to help mid-majors. I've had people try to say that all these mid-major conference commissioners want this, and I don't understand why. You think they're going to push someone from the A10, even a league like that, the Mountain West, over a power school? No, that's not the way it's going to work. They're going to manipulate the net rankings, and it's going to be about getting an opportunity for the power schools to earn more money with early wins in this tournament for their conference.
Yes, it's not to get more of the the surprise teams that come out of nowhere and have great seasons, and then maybe lose in their one bid league, lose in the tournament, don't get a bid. They're not going to, put them in. They're going to put the 11th place SEC team in.
Well, and something Andy Bitter brought up yesterday, Mike, that makes a lot of sense. This whole thing about, the brackets, so many people outside of the sports world get involved in the NCAA tournament because they want to fill out a bracket. They don't know a whole lot, but hey, it's bracket time. And now, how's that going to look? You're going to have to fill it out on a Tuesday instead of it's just going to be strange. And that's going to affect, it sounds like it's a silly, superficial thing, but that's part of the whole March Madness bracketing, marketing is that bracket. So,
well, it's so much online now. I used to always joke they can't expand it. The bracket right now just barely fits on your office copier, and I was never kidding about that for the very reason you say. So many people, first timers, go, "Oh, I'll fill out a bracket this year.
Yeah.
I want to say, oh, this team wears red. I'll pick them." That kind of stuff. But there's truth to that. And now you got the point I was making was now with the play-in games, even as they are now, your team doesn't even go on the bracket. It's just that they leave a spot open for those people to be plugged in. And so you don't even get to pick you don't even get the joy of writing in your team if you're in a play-in game.
That's right.
That's silly. That's silly. But isn't it also silly that we stop everything for about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And then it could be more if they have their way to 96 teams to just watch basketball all day. I was not very productive on those days in the office. I was across the street at either VTs or Thack sandwiches watching games, when I didn't have conflicting work down at the Dedman Center. But yeah, hey, that's another thing. I actually, before I took that job at Radford, I worked for 3 months at my hometown paper, the Salem Times Register, where I was editor of the Newcastle Record, where I was an expert in heifers and fescue and things like that from the county extension aides, the fine folks at Virginia Tech. I learned more about, it was like watching Green Acres, I tell you. It was, anyway, there was a night, 1983. I was, the Orioles were in the World Series. Remember Cal Ripken's big year? He won it the Orioles won it that year. And I was covering a board of supervisors meeting in Roanoke County. Coming out every time I got a chance to call my best friend and ask him what the score was in a World Series game. And that night I vowed I will never miss another major sporting event unless I'm working at a sporting event. I'm not going to do that ever again. Filled out my application, got the job at Radford that fall. So there I was.
Have you ever gotten into horse racing, the big thrill? Like, will you watch the Kentucky Derby tomorrow?
It's funny because tomorrow's the big Milton yard sale. I got to get up there, and I'm not participating this year, so I want to walk around and look at things. But I always used to get so busy, I'd forget, and then I'd sit down and turn on the TV, and I go, "Oh yeah," and then I'd try and watch. Yeah, I do, and there's, from when I was a kid, and we had in my house 2 stations, and you were trying to watch something. I always watched the Kentucky Derby as a kid. I remember watching Secretariat run.
Yeah,
on TV.
Yeah, we played.
So I got fond memories of that. And then we've had some great people, Rick Snyder, who's been on the show here, handicapping the races back before he passed away so suddenly last year. And I know a lot of people that covered it, and to hear them talk about it, it's like when you hear people that are inside golf that really know it and know the people and the players. And it's something I wish I was better versed in, but it is a beautiful sport, except for the cleanup part that they never show. Same with parades downtown, which is, horses are beautiful animals, but
literally,
yes.
I still can't believe Rick's gone. Rick Snyder. He was so great on the. I know you knew him a lot better than me, but that was shocking news to hear. It really was.
His podcasts were so much fun. He was such a well-versed person. I mean, because he was also doing those historic tours downtown, which I swore I was going to get to one of them, and now, I missed my chance. He did a tour of like John Wilkes Booth tour following his activity the day, at the Ford Theater when.
Oh, that's right. He talked about that on the show. Yes.
Yeah. He did that, and he did some other tours here locally. He was such a proud Washingtonian and really could just so much off the top of his head just when these topics would come up. And again, when I was 37 years old when I got up here and joined the beat. So I wasn't a rookie, but I was, because I was new to town. I lived in Virginia, and covering with all these Maryland people, I didn't really have a familiarity with the players, in the media up here. And guys like Rick and John McNamara, who tragically was lost to us in the Annapolis Capitol shooting. Those guys were my age and quickly took me under the wing. I used to joke. Now I can't remember the guy's name. Who was the shooter at Maryland back in the 70s? Brian Magid. Brian Magid. You remember that name, Rick?
No, I did not.
He was a Steve Kerr looking guy that played at Maryland, that had range, that he shot from where Curry and Trey Young and those guys are shooting now.
Yeah,
back
right.
then, before it was unbelievable in college to see a guy with that kind of range. And I remember I always said, when those guys found out that I knew who Brian Magid was, that was like, oh, okay, he's for real.
Well, good stuff as always, and we appreciate you, and we'll see how it all plays out. But 76 is here, and we'll see how they try to make it work. Yeah.
Well, happier times, happy graduation to everybody down there, and everybody have a good time. And send somebody over to BT's to save you a table.
Yeah, you're gonna need it. You better get in early. You better reserve it early this weekend. Yeah.
Hey, but this is fun. I love to see when it's like this at Radford. Everybody comes in, and it's such a beautiful campus. I think there may be some first time people coming in, and you should walk. You get there early and walk around campus, take a look, and
have to.
Down.
Yeah, you got to walk around, and it's beautiful. It is. It's amazing how you ever. I know you do it when you come in, but I always think about when I was going there. That wasn't there. That didn't look like that. Wow, look over here. It's just cool.
We'll do a segment on all the areas I miss so much, starting with the Heath Center basketball courts.
It was the best place in the world. I know.
That's where I met people, because I would just go play hoops because I was a transfer student, and hey, there was no transfer request. We were on our own. Here, big boy, in the water. Go meet people, and Radford is great for that. So
yeah, I played a lot of pickup games there, and Bill Nichols, Darius and Shane's dad, the legend of the New River Valley, Bill Nichols. All you had to do is go, if he's on your team, you open? Okay, here. Of course you're open. Boom.
I thought I was a pretty good pickup player, but boy, there were guys out there from the creme de la creme out there, and they took a quick shine to me because they thought I threw the best lob passes around where they could dunk, and these guys were all dunking, which really was not a part of my game.
No.
And here's the chubby guys throwing these great passes. I was really shooting, okay, guys. Just a line drive, though. So, yeah.
You were Sheeby Johnson before Sheeby Johnson in 1998.
Yes, that's why I took a shine to him. The greatest missed shot in the history of Radford basketball.
Right. All right, man. Well, have a good weekend. We'll talk soon.
Hey, y'all too.
All right. Hey to Goober.
Hey.
Yeah, hey to Goober. Very good. I had to lead him into Goober there. There you go. Yeah, Mike, you haven't mentioned Goober. Come on, man. Good rant today. Good open mic. All right, Family Fencing. Thanks to them, sponsor of our studios here in Ryder. 540-282-94. FamilyFencing@RV.com. Thanks to Jason Green and company. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, right off of Walters Drive, 155 Walters Drive. The NRV Super Bowl has been serving the community for 25 years. We're going to be doing our bash from over there. Can't wait. See everybody. Have a bunch of cool people out. It's going to be nice. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997. You give James Lawson a call at 381-8011. They got all sorts of parts for your windows, your plumbing, door accessories, installation. They do it all at Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. Great people. Again, they've been around a long time for a reason. Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. They are our presenting sponsor of this program here on YouTube. And they are the biggest movers and shakers that I know. They are unbelievable, and they are just relentless. I'm going to try to get Jonathan on Monday and follow up on everything that's going on at the track, get an update, and then everything else that they've been introducing. We've been posting. If you follow us on the on our BDST Facebook page, we've been posting all that stuff as well. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. That's Charles Lee and the blue and black vehicles, and get your air units ready. At some point, we're going to need them, right, when all this cold weather's finally gone. The attorney Ryan Pry in Radford, BDST fan question of the week, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of me and this program. I've been with them for over 30 years, man. They are the best. They are the best. Professional Door Incorporated, residential, commercial garage doors, family owned and operated, 38 years in business. That's Travis Williams and crew up in Dublin. Go see them. Sponsor of our text line here on the program. ReadySetFund.com. Appreciate Bob Chris, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. Your organization, your team, whatever it might be, can earn money in a hurry. Sundown Electric, the Smith Brothers, right in Elliston. One of the best businesses, reputable businesses, of the things they can come take care of and how well they do it, and for the best reasonable price possible. You can trust their superior craftsmanship. Go look at their reviews. They don't have one negative review. That's incredible. So thanks to all those folks as well. Jen's scheduled to join us. I don't know where she is. Have no idea. She usually sends me a message. It says, I don't think I'll be able to make it on today. So I didn't get anything from her. So I'm assuming she will join us. And yeah, Jason. First, Jason, I didn't know you worked for Pepsi. And I mean, come on. It's my addiction. Now I am trying to cut back in the morning, so I've got my water. But you know how many times have you seen me? Come on. Is there a more apt endorsement than me being an endorser for Pepsi products? I don't think so. Maybe Mike Ashley and fedoras. You're right, Morris. I saw Mike. And Mike wears all sorts of hats. He wears the floppy hat. He wears the bucket hat. He wears the fedora. He always looks good in a hat. Mike, baseball cap. Mike could be, you know how George Costanza was a hand model? Mike could be a hat model. I don't know why, but he always looks good in a hat. He did. He had the fedora on. Yeah. He looked great. He looked great. Kentucky Derby this weekend. The NBA playoffs continue. Yeah. Not a lot going on. Things are settling down a little bit now. We're out of a football completely. Just checking it out here. I mean, hey, the WNBA is going apparently. Y'all gonna watch that preseason WNBA games? Call the neighbors, wake the kids. Yeah. Enjoy that. Hey, Tamara. Hey to you, Tamara. Good morning. In Webster's, Mike faces there under happy-go-lucky. Yeah. Like, Mike has that rare ability, and it is an ability. I see him. Sometimes I'll know he's coming in town, and I haven't connected with him yet. And then sometimes I won't know he's in town, and there he is. But your most genuine reaction when you see Mike Ashley is that you feel happy. You get a smile on your face, and you just have this incredible, hey, there's Mike. Just got to go talk to Mike, you know? And that is a legacy. That is a legacy. But that's just who he is. That's just who he is. But yeah, you never see, in other words, Mike Ashley's never around, and you don't ever see anyone go, oh no. Mike Ashley? No. You just always are excited. Yeah, happy-go-lucky is a good way to put it. Is a good way to put it. I guess Georgia Amore finally plays after the injury. I guess. Lay down a bag of $1 million and tell me, hey, Rick, who does Georgia Amore play for in the WNBA? New York? No, Mike was well before me, Morris. He was well before me. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, Wayne knows. Wayne all over it. Yeah, I won't be watching any Washington. Was that the Mystics? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Mike was before my time. But, it's one of those things, too. You go there and you start in the school of communications and you talk to people around the athletic department, journalism department. I heard Mike Ashley's name a lot before I even know who the hell he was, before I'd even met him. You'll want at some point to talk to Mike Ashley. First time I talked to Wes Durham. He's like, yeah, you need to talk to Mike Ashley. Okay. Who? No, I don't think she hasn't left yet. She's here, but she hasn't left yet. She's actually at home. There she is. That's right. I remembered it now. As the first lady of the program joined us. You're heading to Orlando, but we're catching you before all that, right?
Correct. I leave tomorrow morning.
See how I remember things?
I'm impressed you remember that. Actually, I didn't think you would.
How many, men in your life don't remember the things you tell them, Jen?
Most.
There you go.
Most. But I do have a lot going on. I get it. It's hard to keep track.
I just said I don't know where you are most of the time. I sit there. What did she tell me? And then next week's Vegas weekend.
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. There's a week in between. Okay.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to that. We're going to be part of that one way or the other. Yeah, I bet you are. Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah.
I bet you are. So how are things? We had Will Stewart on. He says hello.
Okay. Did you see his new digs? I'm so excited to see it. I did not watch earlier, so I'll have to watch a replay.
Wow.
So I have to get ready.
For what? What are you doing? Y'all graduating this weekend?
No, next weekend.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Today I'm emceeing our athletics graduation ceremony this morning. So everything starts today for us, and then tomorrow is the big ceremony.
Oh, that's exciting. That's fun.
Yeah, it's here. It's hard to believe it is here. And
I'm
excited
this time of year. I mean, don't you feel like it's just you're very grateful and thankful and all the excitement? I just like the energy.
For a place like Radford, yeah, because it still means something. And I don't mean that, but I don't know how much this means it's how much. Maybe now it still does, but eventually, since there's going to be so many athletes making so much money, and they're not going to be graduating. They're just going to be coming through, passing through, leaving, going to the next place if they can't. I don't know how much longer this vibe is going to continue specifically in athletics. So for me, yeah, for a place like Radford, you've been with these kids since they were freshmen, and we posted all-time high GPAs across the board in all of our, our athletic department. Yeah, those kind of things. It's still very important. Yeah, it is. It does make you feel good. Yeah, it does.
You're a big piece of that and their experience at Radford. So that's meaningful to them that you have time to hang out with them and you're there, you're present.
Yeah, we'll be there introducing them today, get to see all the families and so forth. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. I have to put on my charming face today. Hi.
Can you be sweet to everybody? Can you do it?
To everybody?
Everybody? You don't want to be a buzzkill at a happy event. You don't want to be a grumpy buzzkill.
No, I won't be.
Okay.
No, I won't be a buzzkill. No, not at all. Not at all. So how did recruiting go? You were in Fredericksburg last weekend. You're hanging out there.
I was not recruiting last weekend. The weekend before I was. I know it's a lot, but our deadline is today at midnight for music recruiting across the nation. And it's surprised us, all of the music recruiters, how many students are waiting until today to make their final decision. So we don't know. The numbers are not going to be finalized until later today. I mean, the numbers are lagging a little bit for everybody from last year, but there is a much larger percentage of students who have not committed anywhere.
Really? What do you think that means? You think?
I don't know. This is the first time that one of the recruits that I was working with asked me if they could study with our professor, but go to another school. And I think there's this weird generational vibe of fear of missing out. And I think it's really difficult for them to commit because they kind of want these pieces of all the best options. And I think they're really having a hard time figuring out what they're going to do. I think just generationally, there's something there with it that makes it difficult for them to feel like, well, if I don't go there, I might miss out on this. I might not get this. So I think it's proving to be difficult for a lot of the top students, and they're going to decide today.
It's a tricky generation to deal with right now.
It is. They had all the COVID stuff. I just don't know, like how it, honestly, this is the first year in 24 years of doing this that I just don't know what's going to happen today. Like we could get 10 more commits, which would be really awesome, fantastic, or we could maybe get 2. I just don't know. We're just going to have to see, track the numbers.
Social media, they're so distracted with all these other things. It's just not the same when I don't see a kid walking around, most of the time if they're not practicing or headed to practice without that device, and without that device taking up basically their entire attention span. I mean, if I go in the training room, which I did a couple days ago, and you see athletes that are in there and they're getting treated, or they're on their machine, but they're just, it's just like.
It is, and the headphones,
the headphones are
That's difficult. Like, as I walk around campus, I always greet people, and that's kind of a Southern thing, I guess. But it's just surprising to me the number of people who are just totally checked out and just can't hear anything and outside or around them. Too very different. Don't think it's so great. So I'm grateful that the music students seem to be more engaged, I think, than some of the other students. And I think they tend to be more sensitive and compassionate students, partly because, they're artists and the nature of what they do. And they have a lot of different kinds of people in the groups that they learn to be friends with and deal with. So I think those qualities help them out quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's like, I've never not, like, I have to hear what's around me. I don't like to be blocked off. I don't ever have earbuds in, even when I used to run and things. I never liked it. I want to hear cars, the nature. I want to hear people, I don't like having my whole world but you're right. It is not even it is the given now. You can't watch. Guys will be shooting around in Dedmon Center. They can't, with their music either turned way too loud up or without it's bizarre to me and it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I've noticed too, I feel like in recent years, I've noticed it more and more when the students here cross the street. Like there used to be kind of like, you kind of almost jog across, like, a sense of, hey, these cars are waiting for me. I'm going to try to hustle a little bit. Now it's like the super slow shuffle in the break, and they're talking. They might stop in the crosswalk and talking like no on the phone, and then like the cars are sitting there waiting to turn. And like it's this weird vibe. It's just totally different. I don't know. I can't tell if it's me getting old and curmudgeonly or if
no. And you know what? It's not at all. And I get tired of that because I get accused of being my kids. It's not. We're not being curmudgeons. We're just saying it's not healthy to be raised by this damn thing. Kids are being raised by their phone. This is all they do. You can't keep them off of TikTok and all that. You imagine me with a TikTok channel? Come on. I mean, it's just experiencing life and being out and doing things. That's how that's how it's supposed to work. That's how you develop. You don't develop on here because nothing on here is really real. How much of posts on X aren't real for the most? Nothing's real. Everything's fake, especially with AI. Just experience real things. I don't think that makes us curmudgeons. I don't. I hear that a lot. My daughter was in. She came in. I hadn't seen her in a while. I mean, she's in town, but she's getting her master's and she's teaching in Floyd. So I hadn't seen her in a few weeks, and she was like, we were talking about things. She mentioned that word, curmudgeon, and I'm like, I'm not a curmudgeon. I'm not. But I guess in their eyes, I am. I guess.
It was refreshing to me. I was out eating somewhere this week, and a family had their children with them, and they had coloring books for the children.
Oh, cool.
And it was so refreshing and sweet and wholesome. Like, I kept staring at them. They probably thought I was being creepy, but I was just happy to see them interacting, and the children were talking with their parents, and the parents were like grabbing a crayon and helping color. And it was a sweet scene. Made my heart happy. It was a nice change.
Yeah, exactly. Little things like that. You just gotta go, yeah, that's cool.
And the small talk thing, I don't know. I just feel like it's an art. Like talking in an elevator with people. After work yesterday, I started some small talk with somebody, and it turned out they knew somebody from back home that I knew. And if you don't have those conversations, you don't have that connection. You know, there's a risk involved. Anytime you talk with someone you don't know them and they're a stranger, that maybe it will be weird, it'll be awkward, but 9 times out of 10, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. What's up, Daniel? Good to see you, Daniel Bears. Yeah, I'm with you. And have you noticed that, like when you're interviewing kids, like when you're going through the recruiting, do you immediately look to see if they're distracted by things like that, or are they capable of actually putting it away and actually having an adult conversation with you?
Our best recruits are capable of not having a phone and talking and engaging. There is still some of that, but it does tend to be students who aren't as talented and aren't as good as what they do. Maybe there's a correlation there. I don't know. Hadn't thought about that until you just brought that up. But yes, thankfully, a lot of the best students are still very capable of talking with adults too, which is another skill, right? And not being all weird and like just staring at you like you're crazy the whole time.
Well, eventually, like I'm wondering, like I'm hosting this thing today and I'm introducing the names and they come up to get their stole. I'm wondering if eventually you're going to see them go, Margaret Smith. Huh? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on.
Oh.
Time to do a selfie. I wonder if that's what we're going to start doing. So.
It's so distracting at restaurants too. Like when you're out and one of the influencer type people, like if they're filming and sampling food and doing all the really like over exaggerated, like, this is yeah. And it's all like happening next to you. It's completely disruptive. And I don't like any of it. I'm all for like a little quick pic of your plate to post on Instagram, but I don't need to see all the theatrics. I just not down with it.
Oh, we saw your Instagram plenty last weekend. All these dudes. I don't know who she's taking pictures with. Dude after dude after dude. Yeah, go look at your Instagram. Yeah, I think so. I guess.
Well, I don't know if it was that many.
Hang on, let me see.
I don't think so. You're in my secret feed though, so you get different stuff than the public gets. The secret feed is all the like personal things. Like because of my job, I'm very cognizant of the kinds of things I post to my public Instagram.
Okay.
Well, so you probably saw something on my secret feed, as I call it.
The secret feed. Yeah, probably so. Probably so. Because you have very few clothes on in those. I'm just kidding. It's just a joke.
I got a little scared. I was like, I don't think so, but
yeah. Well, no, that'll be in 2 weeks when you're in Vegas. T-Bird says, don't knock it till you try it. Curmudgeonhood is an often comfortable place.
Well, I mean, I do feel like with aging, you do get more quirky and demanding with the things that you like to do and want to do. So, I mean, that's that's a natural progression.
It is. And I've tried to, I had, 3 kids. I wouldn't say different generations, but I guess my youngest came up a little bit younger. But you try to keep an open mind to things because you knew you had to adjust a little bit as they got old, and so you try not to say that you're not going to adapt. Oh, okay. How things, different things are, but none of it's good. None of it is better. Even my daughter was saying, she goes back to a lot of the things that, her grandparents talked about and we talked about. It's like, it's better. It's a better vibe. She now she gets serenity. She doesn't have I'll give her credit. She doesn't do a whole lot with it. She sits there, she knits, she draws, things like that.
That's so good for your brain. Yes.
Yeah. Just to kind of do that. She'll have a podcast on maybe while she's doing it just to keep occupied, but she's not, staring at their phone.
Well, I was thinking about my travel coming up to see Holly. She and I are going to meet in Orlando, and there's a upscale hotel we like there. And as I was making my reservations, I was thinking, back in the day, I can remember calling hotels, calling to make a reservation, calling different hotels. Oh, you're sold out that day. Okay, I'll call here. It was such a time-consuming thing. And if a new hotel opened up, you didn't know until you got there and you drove to the place you were going to. And then you saw, oh, there's a new place next door. I'll have to remember that next time. I need to write this down so I can remember to call them in a year to make my reservation or whatever. Just phones have helped us in so many ways, but there's a lot that comes with that. And the trade-off has been heavy.
Wayne says lawyers are using AI to draw up their lawsuits. The new world of not thinking for yourself. Wow. Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because I heard that some attorney, Wayne will know more about this. I heard some attorney was citing a fake case that was posted online and they got busted with it, and it was discovered in that whole process that the attorney had prepared the case entirely using AI.
Wow. Really? Really?
I think you'll start to see that more with medicine too, with doctors who just plug everything in and like, okay, this is what's wrong. Here you go. They're probably already doing that.
So they don't have to, they just plug it in instead of doing the work and doing and still collecting the money.
Right.
So what are you and Holly going to get into this weekend?
Maybe some spa time. We enjoy the spa, ridiculously expensive massages.
Pool time.
Crazy overpriced pool time. There's an adults only pool that we like there.
Really? Wait a minute. What are you talking about here? The adults only pool, huh?
We like that. Well, it's in Orlando, so a lot of families there and children. So they have a no children pool that's quieter, and they play like Zen spa music in the background. And
you sure it's not like the late 70s porn music?
It's not that kind of pool. It's a reputable resort property. So no. Probably do a little shopping. We have a restaurant or two we like to hit, but we're celebrating Holly's birthday.
Oh, we'll tell her I said happy birthday.
I will. I sent her a gift on the actual birthday, but I don't tell anyone. Hopefully she's not listening, but I ordered a little special surprise to be in the room when we arrive for her, a little gift. It's like artisan. No, it's an artisan like dessert display because she likes little fancy desserts. So it should be fun.
She gonna do your hairstyle again while you're down there?
She is, because I have not been able to see her in a few months. So my hair has been touched by another here in Columbia for the last 2 times, and that's the first time in probably 20 years that's happened. So
she's not gonna like that.
She knows it was with her approval. It was cheating with consent.
Okay.
So.
Begrudgingly, she gave her approval. Chippendales T-Bird ass. That's what you got her. You just got 3 dudes just, hey!
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Why not?
It's kind of a short trip. It's just
yeah, it kind of sucks.
Coming back Tuesday morning really early.
Oh, okay. So at least you got the whole weekend though.
Yeah. Well, yes, but on Monday, we're going to check out, and then I'm just going to stay somewhere close to the hotel, or I'm sorry, to the airport on Monday night because I'm flying out really early, and she's going back to Tampa.
How is flying now? You fly a lot. I haven't flown in a while. So what? Flown? Haven't flown in a while. I ain't been in that whirly bird in a while.
It's pretty terrible.
I was going to say, it's as bad as what everybody tells me. It's horrible. Is it?
It's just frustrating. It's hard to describe a recent good experience I've had because I think too, I don't know if you go to Charlotte Airport much, but of course, like Roanoke,
it's the worst.
Everything connects either in like you fly American, you usually connect in Charlotte. If you fly Delta, you usually connect in Atlanta. I'm an American person, so I usually go to Charlotte Airport, and Charlotte Airport has become my least favorite airport.
Absolutely.
It is awful. Like the way it was designed, the walkways are so constricted, and the people waiting to board just infiltrate those walkways, and it's really congested all the time. Terrible. And the Admirals Club used to be like a little place I could go, a little sanctuary, and it would be quieter and more manageable, but it's oversold now, and it's not really enjoyable anymore. So I think the Charlotte airport is a big buzzkill. I mean, in general, I'll just try to fly through DCA, which is Washington, D.C., National, Reagan, and other airports as much as possible to avoid Charlotte. Charlotte, I think, is the worst.
No, I'm with you. It's a terrible experience. Every time you drive in there, you feel
horrible. The driving into Charlotte is way worse than it used to be too, because it's just so big and there's all that construction. And unfortunately, I was flying recently, and one of my flights was canceled out of Columbia. And the only way I could make the schedule work is if I drove to Charlotte and caught the second flight from Charlotte. Did that, went to an express area where I had always parked before. And then the guys were like, well, what's your reservation number? And I'm like, what? Didn't you say that? Like, yeah, you can only park here now if you have a reservation. Well, I didn't know my flight was going to get canceled, so I don't have one. Thankfully, with a tip, they allowed me to park. So,
are you a first class flyer now? I mean, since you've got so many, I mean, good Lord, you should have a complimentary first class at this point.
Well, I would get upgraded a lot, and then American changed their system again, and I'm a little bit disgruntled because they changed it. And so now every single flyer at check-in gets asked if they want to upgrade to first class for a certain amount of money. And they're selling the seats more aggressively, which, you know, good for them and their business model, but it means the rest of us don't get upgraded anymore. We pretty much have to buy upgrades. It doesn't matter how much loyalty and status you have. So I already bought an upgrade for Vegas because I knew I wanted that. But in general, it's not smart to buy an upgrade from Columbia to Charlotte when the flight is 19 minutes. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
You get one drink and then plane lands, and then you know, that's it.
You a big plane drinker?
No, not unless I'm doing Vegas or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you know you're going to be going somewhere and you're gone like a week and it's fun time, yeah, that's different than if you're, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like the environment, like I don't want to have to be that person who's like constantly getting up and bothering other people in my row too, and going to the bathroom, and like not everybody drinks. I don't want to reek of alcohol and have someone next to me who's like. So I in general, I'd much rather drink where I have a little more freedom. You can move around and enjoy, like Vegas.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%.
So I want to tell you something about Vegas I'm really excited about.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen it. Have you ever checked out? It's called Circa Swim Stadium.
I don't think so.
What that is? Okay. So that is like a gigantic outdoor pool area that is known for having about 20 screens of different sports events at all times on. And I've always wanted to go there. And my friends were like, okay, like we can try that. So, which I'm really, really, really excited about. So we're going to go, but we're doing a 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. outdoor pool party type thing, but all the sports will be on. So I'm going to go to the sports book earlier in the day, put some bets down on the stuff that will be on that night, and I'll get to watch it there and track my bets. And we're doing a cabana rental, so we'll have a little party headquarters in our own private.
Oh, wow.
So
spending the big bucks in Vegas. Wow.
Well, I mean, yeah, we do it once a year. So
sure, absolutely.
And that is actually pretty reasonable. It's only $500 guarantee for the four of us. So that means you have to order $500 worth of alcohol and food, which is very easy to do in Vegas.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So,
So
an hour in, hour and a half in, you're going to just be going, I don't remember what I bet on.
Maybe not an hour and a half in, maybe 4 hours in. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm counting on you to pre-drink before you get to the pool. That's what I'm counting on. So.
Well, I don't know. We'll see how it all goes, but I'm very excited about going there.
Oh, I know I was going to ask you. So you love craps, correct?
I do. Mm-hmm.
What drew you to craps? Because I don't know what the hell's going on in craps. I play blackjack. I enjoy it. I like it. I've actually won money in Vegas playing blackjack. Not a lot, obviously, but I've won. It's fun to me. I love the strategy of it. There's a lot more to it than people think. They don't, What is it about craps? I've never understood. Is that red, black, and all that stuff, or is that, what am I thinking? That's roulette. That's roulette.
Yeah, that is not craps. Yeah.
So craps. What is it about playing craps?
The fun of the whole scene. It's very social, and it's very high energy when it's done right. I don't like a table that is low energy. Like if it's got bad juju in the table, I'm out. I'm not going to do it. So like a lot of times you're betting on the same things and you want the same rolls. So when it happens, there's a lot of celebration at the table, and it's really a good social, fun, uplifting environment.
But you're just rolling dice, right?
Yeah. And there are a lot of very specific.
So how the hell do you win?
There's
craps, roll me a 7. Well, she's got 5 dice. Which one is it? I don't know what the hell's going on in craps.
So there are 2 modes in the game. There's like a big hockey puck and it says on and off. And so in one mode, you want to roll the 7-11, the roll out, as they refer to it. And you want a 7 or 11, and that's good. And everyone wins and everyone's happy. So if you can roll, like I've had some really nice rolls where I've probably been able to roll maybe 15 to 20 times successfully, and you win back to back over and over and over. So it's exhilarating. It's intoxicating when that happens. So during that mode,
and you can win other people money.
Yeah, and everyone's winning. So people will tip the roller. Like people started tipping me, and I asked people to say go Cox and give me good energy to help keep the roll going. And people were doing it and complying with my wishes. I like it when people comply with my wishes a lot. And then they're rolling and winning. And then it switches. So it switches to another mode. And then you bet on specific numbers on the table. And there are a lot of really like very niche bets where people are like trying to bet on very specific things. I'm not really great at all that. But if you get to know the people who run the table and tip them, which I always do anytime I win, I tip them a little something. They will give you some help and talk you through some options. Look out for you.
Well, just some advice, okay? When you're in Vegas at night and you're at the craps table, make sure when you say go Cox that they understand what you mean.
Yeah, I always explain that. I try to explain. I have a little wallet.
You heard what she said, and you heard her. Yeah.
And so sometimes I've taken out that little wallet that has go Cox and gold beads on it, and to get money out to play games, and people are like, "Wait, what is that?" So that usually permits a little bit of explanation at that point. But it's Vegas, so people don't really care that much.
No. Well, I'm fully expecting my annual Jen Holly picture that you always send.
Okay, we can do that for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to sponsor any Any rounds of drinks, or you want to sponsor some Vegas craps? I like asking you to sponsor me.
Oh, I'd sponsor you, baby. Hey, you proud of me, by the way? I'm drinking water instead of soda all the time now. You like that?
Whoa, why are you doing that? What's wrong with you?
My daughter came in at dinner the other night. She was like, "Dad, are you dying?"
Did you
I
get a
don't know,
bad
just
diagnosis?
Huh?
Did you get a bad diagnosis this week? Like, what's happening?
No.
Okay. Is this is Janet? Is this a Janet thing?
No, I just sat around. It's my addiction, right? And I got tired, and I know it is. That's not like I'm trying to deny, but I got tired of it being something I had. It was just it just engulfed me to the point I was like, I got to stop this, right? It's got to stop. So I'm trying to. I'm not going cold turkey. I can't do that because of the caffeine headache. But I am trying to. Yeah.
I have a rule. I don't know. I'm just going to share this with you in case it helps. But I love unsweetened iced tea. I know this is not natural for a Southerner. I know. I get it.
It's just water. It's just water.
No, it's tasty and delicious. And I love tea. But I'll drink tea, and my rule is always cut off at 3 p.m. And then I switch to water. And my goal is I have a 32-ounce water jug, and I have to finish 2 of those before the end of the day. So, like, I think it's good to have like a little water bottle or something we can track the intake and have little goals with it, just to make sure.
Do you put flavoring in your tea, your unsweetened iced tea?
No, not really. I like a really bitter, dark, rich, unsweet tea.
So basically, just dark, bitter water.
No, it's more flavorful than that. It's very satisfying. My favorite is the Starbucks tea. I really love their tea, and I like it without any water. Like, they usually add water to dilute it a little bit. I don't like it when they add the water, so I get it without that.
For only $22. Enjoy.
$4-ish for my big. I think it's 32 ounces for $5. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm not much of an unsweetened tea guy.
I see that. But maybe you could have, my point of the story is maybe you could have a caffeinated drink or 2 in the morning, and then have a time in which you switch.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I do. Like, I'll have one on my way to Radford today, especially since I'm emceeing an event.
Yeah.
Although at this point, I don't think my body is affected by the caffeine, other than when it's being withdrawn. But I don't think it really, like, I can have drinks at night and it doesn't bother me. So I think
how many were you drinking before?
It was at least a 6-pack a day.
Oh gosh, that is a lot. Okay.
I mean, it was at least
maybe two, and then a lot more water.
I know.
Easy.
T-Bird says, I hope TMZ doesn't get photos of the University of South Carolina music ambassador chugging whiskey at the crap table. Drip.
Well, that is one thing I did not mention about playing craps is the free drinks. So,
really?
Yeah, I do like that. And
they just give you free drinks because you're at the table?
Yeah.
Is that just for craps?
No, it's for all the gambling in Vegas.
Really? I don't think I knew that. Did I know that?
You should tip your cocktail servers well, but yes.
Okay.
So I mean, I wouldn't say chugging the bourbon, but I might be tasting some bourbon during that. Also, I enjoy vodka occasionally. So it'd be vodka or bourbon choices.
Well, we're looking forward to your Vegas experience. We'll have exclusive BDST coverage of Jen and her group in Vegas.
Okay. Well, this circus swim thing, I've been really, really, really revved about for years, and I wanted to do it. So
that's cool. They're actually going to do it. That's cool.
I think I could talk them into it because it was at night, and we were looking for something fun to do at night, and we don't really like to go to the loud club scene. We kind of want something we can actually hear each other talk.
Yeah.
And, so like this has a little more of a mix of that for my friends, and they'll like it. So
and the music stays in your head, pounds in your head all night.
Yeah, too much. But like this too, we don't have to, have a big fancy get ready session, put on the sequins and all that. Like we'll just put on our pool clothes. Yeah.
Well, safe travels to Orlando, and give the lovely Holly our best and tell her happy birthday.
Okay, I will. If you want to make a video singing happy birthday to Holly, just
Should I
let
do
me
that
know.
and send it to you?
me.
Okay.
I'll share it with you.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that.
Or if you want to do a little dance.
Nah, nobody needs to see that. Yeah. I think that would be like, yeah, Jen, go home. She'd go, Jen, get back on the plane. Okay. You just ruined everything.
I don't know. I suspect you've got some moves in you.
Well.
Yes? No?
Dancing moves? No. I wouldn't say
okay.
that. I wouldn't say I can cut a rug. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now I feel like this is a mission to see that.
now you want to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, how can I get this to happen?
Lots and lots of alcohol. All right.
Okay. Good to know.
By the way, don't you think pickleball would be more accepted if it was called bacon ball?
I don't know what's called pickleball, actually. Do you? I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've learned it's the stupidest thing in the world. Yeah. Makes no sense.
I haven't played it. I've heard it's fun. I haven't done it though.
Yeah, we'll get into that sometime. Yeah, we'll get into that sometime. They named it after a pickle truck or pickle boat or something. It's really stupid. Really stupid. All right. Well, listen, safe travels. Have a great weekend. And we will talk to you next week.
In Columbia next week, potentially Vegas the week after.
That's right. Columbia next week. That's right. Mm-hmm. But we'll get a review of your entire weekend.
Perfect.
In great detail.
Yes, sir.
All right. Stay safe. Have fun.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you. Be good. Be safe. There you go. Jen the Gamecock Girl. Join us. Have safe. I'm serious. Be safe. I always work. Be safe.
Got it.
All right. Jen the Gamecock Girl. That's when I get stern with her, when I just want her to be safe. All right. Great show today. Thanks to Will Stewart. Thanks to Mike Ashley. Thanks to Jen. Great chat, as always. Thank you, sponsors. You're wonderful. And we'll be back on Monday. We'll review it all. Whatever happened this weekend, Reaction Monday. I'm headed to athletics graduation. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the weather. It's going to be brisk in the evenings. We have a nice day ahead. And thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share the channel. Be good, be proud, stay safe, and we will see you again next week. Be good.